The financial opportunity, with this company is tremendous. Like I said, you can make a little, you can make a lot. It just depends on what you put out with it. But even if I didn't have that, I think I would still be doing this, just because, the changes that I've seen in my own family, the changes that I can make, and the quality of life that I can change for people, that's what's enjoyable, and that's what actually keeps me going. I got started in this career about 4 years ago. A girlfriend of mine, she was having some health issues, and someone introduced her to a product that really had a lot of science behind it, and it was a natural product. And anyways, she started getting a lot better after about 30-60 days, and I started having some issues. Actually, I've been having issues for a couple of years with my back and back pain going down my leg. And she said, you know what, you may want to try this. So this was an all natural, which really intrigued me. And I started using it for about 30-60 days, and I started noticing all the pain go away. So I started becoming more interested in this field, the natural things that can help the body. It's really not, I don't even think of it as a job anymore. I really don't, because it's something I enjoy. It's a passion. What I love about my job the most are the stories that come, all walks of life from around the world. That drives me, because I can see people change. I can see people's health change. I can see people's lives change, whether it's, athletic-wise, whether it's financially, or whether it's health-wise. And the stories that come and change, and they just bring tears to your eyes. And, to be able to partake in that and have an influence in that and to help people do that, I think it's a beautiful gift that I can have now. The people that you help makes the difference. Sometimes in the corporate world, a lot of it is cubicle, a lot of it's paper and pen and pushing in, and you just become a kind of a number sometimes. But in this job, it's real. It's, emotionally real, it's mentally real, whether it's financially, health-wise. When you can make a difference in their lives, and a physical difference, and you can see that change, it's the greatest feeling. The negatives to my job: you can't change everything. You can't help everyone. I think that's, sometimes you just want to shake someone, say, take this, I know it's going to help you. And, you can't force anyone. So I think that's a negative to the job a little bit. So sometimes, when you see that you can help someone and they don't want the help, whether it's financially or whether it's health-wise. So that sometimes gets to me. I think the challenge is in regards to the science and technology. It's constantly changing. You don't have to get continuing education like a degree or anything, but you definitely have to keep up on the science and technology of the field. And there's so many good things out there, and there's so many bad things out there, and just knowing what the difference is, and teaching people, and trying to tell people that yeah, this is real, and they hear that all the time. That's been the most challenging part of it, is to keep up on the science, making sure that people are aware that this is scientifically backed product. This is not just a hype, this is real. If people go to PubMed.com and they look up the redox, you look up at the xanthones, you look up different things, you can see all the scientific information that's backed up on it. But keeping up on that, there's so many things, people's health that changes daily. And keeping up with all of that and all the changes and technology. I mean, I have a laptop that, works 1 week, and then, 2 months later, it's outdated already. So just keeping up with everything is a challenge sometimes. Discipline is required. I think I learned that in the beginning. I didn't have the discipline. I would get all ganged up and work real hard, and then I'd, slack off and do something, and then, it would fall off, and I wouldn't get back to people, or people wouldn't get back to me, and the business would slow down. So discipline and consistency is the key. Passion, you got to keep your passion alive also. What drove me is the passion in the beginning, because if you don't have that, a lot of people go into their jobs, and you see, when I'm driving down the road sometimes, I see so many people are so unhappy in their cars, and so many people complain about their jobs, and I don't blame them. I mean, I was one of those complainers about the job, putting all this time in and so forth. But then, when you're passionate about something, it doesn't even matter. You could work 60 hours a week, and it doesn't matter, because you're just so passionate about it. But for me, I think that the consistency and the discipline are key factors to this. You got to be consistent in what you do in order to strive and to make it grow. And the more people hear about this, the more it's going to grow. And it doesn't grow unless you keep doing what you're doing. Phone. I use my phone a lot. I use computer a lot. The way it is now is the internet. I have a person in Africa that was a customer. That I had. Just going back and forth on my computer on the internet. So computer is definitely something that's going to be essential. You have to have the internet because this is not just a local thing. This is just not a United States thing. This is a worldwide thing. This is an epidemic in regards to our health. So you definitely have to have a computer. Cell phone, obviously, because I'm usually talking on the phone, driving down the street. Probably shouldn't be doing that half the time, but yeah, definitely, because you have to talk to people. People want to hear your voice. People want to hear. There's something about a computer is one thing, but to actually be able to talk to a person and hear them and hear their story and hear that they're real, it makes a big difference. So it just makes it personal. And for me, also, just the big thing is a printer. I had to go through a couple printers just to print things out because, again, ongoing education. You can print something out, read it later, read it while you're waiting here or waiting there. I do a lot of reading while my kids are at football practice, soccer practice, and stuff like that. So, those are the common little things that you need. Sometimes I work 12 hours a week, sometimes I work 40 hours a week, from Thanksgiving to Christmas time, because there's so much going on in people's lives that time. Those are my 12-hour work weeks usually. During the week when the kids get home from school, usually at like 3:30 and on, I'm pretty much stuck and gone between soccer and lacrosse and everything else that goes on. And then sometimes, off seasons, I'll be staying up at night, and when the kids go to bed, I'll work and put a little more time in. So that's what's great about this. What you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, but it's a part-time thing or a full-time thing. Balance personal and professional life. I think that for me, it's a little bit easier right now because my kids are a little bit older. I have 11, 12, and 13-year-olds, so I've got hormones going around my house like crazy. And any parent that knows this, knows his kids their age, knows exactly what I'm talking about right now. But I have kids who are in school from like 10 to 3 or 8 to 3, and during that time period, I'm disciplined now where I can work during that time. But when they come home, life starts. One goes to soccer, one goes to here. So sometimes it's very, very hard. But anyone with a family, if you're disciplined, you can do it. Late night business entertaining, that is not even in my vocabulary anymore with 3 kids. By 10 o'clock, I'm out. So, that's the nice thing about this. It can revolve around your schedule. There's no, dinner parties or getting people over and, showing them this or that. It's none of that. It really isn't. It's a lot of it, again, it's just by, using your computer, getting the word out on the internet, getting the word out on talking to people, getting the word out and, talking to doctors and physicians or, therapists or, whatever the case may be. So there's really not a lot of lifestyle changes. That's the one thing I do love about these companies is that, they're privately held, and they're real. They don't want to become, an IPO and this corporate thing. They are very field people orientated. They give out to the community so much. The corporate world, it's just so laid back. I mean, I could call the corporate office and say, hey, I want to talk to so-and-so, and they'd be, the VP, the president, or a high executive, and they'll get on the line. And I'll say, I would love for you to talk to someone, or I have a question. And they are so down to earth. It's a great relief to see that. And when I go to visit the office, people are happy. When you go into the office and you go to the corporate office, and people are like, this is a great place to work for. And you see people that are working there and staying there. That means a lot. About 4 years ago, I was at a convention for the company, and, there was a lot of, I thought at that time, there was a lot more women than men. But now, as I go back, and I think that with the economy, and everything that's happening to the United States and to the world in general, where people are really struggling. And I'm finding a lot of stay-at-home dads coming, and a lot of people that are doing this part-time outside of their regular full-time job. For me, I started off slow, and then worked myself into it, and I saw the growth potential, and I saw the potential, and I kept putting more in, and seeing more changes in people, and seeing financial changes too. I mean, I can put money away for my kids now for college. That's an awesome feeling to be able to do that. Especially being a stay-at-home mom and being able to say that and say I can work from home now and I can still provide for my family. So come on, women, we got to get going. I mean, I've seen people, like I said, all walks of life. I've seen people that have come out of high school. I've seen people in college. I have people that actually are much older, that are doing this, that have no college experience, and generations, in between. I've actually seen a 12-year-old boy get on stage that actually took this and ran with it. It's for their family. So I think that, I started looking at all the college kids that are coming out with all their college expenses, and they got $50,000, $100,000, bills to pay from their college education. And for high school, I mean, this is a great part-time thing that can generate, cash flow. That they can do part-time while they're going to college, while they're working, whatever they're doing. Is the potential is amazing. You can earn $12,000. You can earn six figures. It just depends on how much you put into it. This industry has changed so much over the past 5 years. Network marketing, in the health industry, and the nutrition. I mean, that's what people are going. They have so many side effects from their medicines and so forth. But I think people are getting more educated now. In the past 5 years, I see people, saying, okay, I don't want these side effects. There's a lot more side effects than it is worth the benefit. What is the alternative? So I see people shifting and going back to what's the natural way. How can we naturally help our bodies? And this company has done it. It's real. It's scientifically proven that this is what you can do for your body. You can do it naturally. What's native to your body. In the next 5 years, I mean, I can't imagine how this is going to explode. I think there's a great a generation now that is getting more educated and putting this out for that. I think the next 5 years you're going to see a huge change, and you can see this. You can start seeing a change now. When you go into the grocery stores, 5 years ago, you wouldn't see a lot of like the natural food aisles and so forth. There would just be an aisle or two. Now you go into grocery stores and there's a whole section, for natural foods and natural products and natural things. So in the next 5 years, things are going to change for the better. Network marketing is a field that is growing leaps and bounds over the past 5 years. I talk to corporate executives that always looking at the bottom line, and for the product, how can we get this out to more people? How can we make more people see what this can do? And when they see network marketing, it's always had a bad rap. But when you look at it, it's the word of mouth. That's what network marketing is, and that sells more than putting your product on the shelf. I've seen it grow tremendously over the past 5 years, and the potential for the continued growth. I think this is the way the businesses are going to go from now on. I've seen a lot more businesses change to network marketing because you're cutting out the middleman, the advertisement and so forth, and you're doing the word of mouth, and it's getting things out faster and quicker by leaps and bounds. If I could start all over again, I would go all in. I really would. I wouldn't have started off slow. I didn't realize the discipline that it took. So if I started over, I know that I think I would be a lot more disciplined in regards to my schedule and what I would do, and make sure that, in regards to my continuing education for the field, that I would, get up on that and start reading some more and getting out and spreading the word more. I would definitely put a lot more effort into it because there's so much potential that people, regarding their health, it can happen to them. And just seeing that now and looking back, I wish I could have changed their lives sooner.